But I think for me, it was just adjusting to the team we're playing. It's always going to take an adjustment. I think most of the time I use that first quarter to kind of survey what the defense is doing and try to read the defense to the best of my ability. And then once I get a hang of it, it's barbecue chicken from there. No.
USC over number 23 Michigan in a rout. They didn't have Silas Swords, but we never really talk about the players that are out, the injuries. I mean, they impact the game for sure, but no excuses ever, right? So the game was played the way the game was played. Juju Watkins with 31 points. That's nothing new. We've seen that from her already. 17 times out of 47 games to be exact, where she's crossed that 30-point threshold. 5 rebounds, that's a light day for her. That's right on average, down this year from last year with more rebounding help they have. It's the 7 assists that really stood out to me, along with the 1 turnover. That's the big part, is the 1 turnover. She didn't have 6 or 7 turnovers to go along with it. And that's a trend that we've been seeing a lot recently. I'll say the last 8 games, she's really been turning down that turnover amount and turning up that assist amount. That's something that we didn't see last season. And we're starting to see the difference between sophomore Juju and freshman Juju right there, alongside with her efficiency as well. She's down 5 shots this season, 5 field goal attempts, but only down 2 points. And so I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Juju. We're also seeing the maturity as far as the patience, which she noted, the way she's using that first quarter to analyze the way the defenses are playing her. We didn't see that in the Notre Dame game. She came out, went a quick 1 for 8, got a lot better after that, went 9 for 17 for the rest of the game, had her biggest quarter in the third quarter. But that first quarter against Notre Dame, it was awful. Everything was rushed. She didn't really take her time to see the way that the defense was playing her. Ever since then, I can say that she's really been taking her time during that first quarter. Even if she's aggressive, she's not being, unnecessarily so. And she's bringing down those turnovers as well. So I love to see the growth in her game. Rayah Marshall was huge in this game as well, obviously. 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. The most impressive thing that I saw from her in this game, though, was that rebound and then the outlet pass to Avery Howell. That was Kevin Love-like. I want to see more of that from Rayah Marshall. She has the horses out there. Juju Watkins, Avery Howell, Kennedy Smith, Kaylee Heckle. They're all really fast and really athletic. So I like to see that.
Sure. For me, it was just like welcome to Big Ten basketball. I mean, we prepared for it. I mean, we've never played against Michigan before, but after hearing what Coach D had told us coming out of halftime, it was simple, just following the adjustments we needed to make and just executing what we had prepared for leading up to this game. So just like whatever we worked on in scout, that's what we really need to emphasize in. And I kind of just took it, just being the competitor that I am, just took it to heart and just like tried to get my teammates to go out there with the same hunger to compete, which they did because we all want to win.
So after the UConn game, when we saw Sarah Strong at the 5 and that lineup beat USC in the second half, they outscored them by a lot, actually. I wanted to, I expressed in the video that I wanted to see a lot more of the 4-guard lineup from USC, or at least that they had the ability to play that 4-guard lineup when necessary. And we saw it a lot this game. Like the coach said, it was by force because Kiki found herself in foul trouble, but both Rayah and Kiki really thrived in that 4-guard lineup. And when you have 3 guard/wings like Juju Watkins, Kennedy Smith, and Avery Howell that you can throw out there, it only helps the team when you do so. I thought they looked great on both sides, honestly. They were everywhere on defense. Obviously, offensively, they were a lot more spread out, saw a lot more space for Rayah and Kiki to work in. I liked it. I really, really liked it, especially because earlier in the season, I expressed how most of Kiki's points were coming off of putbacks and post-ups, and that's just not her game to me, with a few face-up jumpers mixed in. But her ability to get out there in space and take some of those forwards on 2 or 3 dribble drives, they can't stay with her. She's too athletic, so I love to see that from them. Same thing with Rayah Marshall. Let's not forget, she came into this league as a point guard. She's a 6'4" guard out there, so, and you're seeing some of those skills on display.
Obviously, we didn't want Kiki to get in foul trouble, but we know we can play 4 guards or 2 bigs. And tonight we were sort of forced into the 4 guards, and I thought it was, worked out well for us in the sense of it created some space on the floor. And then Kiki comes back in and gets like 12 points in a couple, minutes because she's such a talented scorer. So it was a good rhythm for us in that sense. And I thought everyone, did what they needed to do.
3 steals and 3 blocks from Juju Watkins. We already know she's one of the most complete players in the country. There are some guards that can get a lot of steals, some bigs that can get a lot of blocks. There's very few that can do both, and she's right there at the top of that list. Also, Rayah Marshall, as noted by the coach, she was a force out there defensively, rather at the rim. I always talk about her rim protection, but like they noted, she's also out there pressing the ball too and very good at it. But the 2 players that I want to highlight, that I want to give some props to, Kennedy Smith. We can see her impact already. First game we saw it. against Connecticut, but in this game we really saw it as far as her pressure on the ball. She was everywhere. And then also Pitbull. She's making a niche for herself as an inbound pest. We saw her get a steal against UConn last game. She got one this game, and she was just bothering every inbound. It didn't matter how big of a shot was hit. She didn't bother wasting any time celebrating. She was right there pressing up on that inbound pass, trying to get another steal. I love to see that as well. These very specific things like outlet passes or being an inbound pest, these are the things that lead to championships. And so, great game. I was very much pleased. Coming up next for both teams is Michigan. They stayed in LA. The UCLA Bruins, the USC Trojans, they're just swapping opponents basically. Michigan is going over to play UCLA. Nebraska is coming over to the Galen Center. They both stayed in LA. So that's what's coming up next for them. I don't know if we'll see Silas in that matchup against UCLA. I'm not sure, but hopefully so, because I was really looking forward to seeing her out there on the floor against Kaylee Heckle and didn't get to see that in this game. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you. So overall, it was a great game. I was really pleased by what USC put out there. I was pleased by the fight that Michigan put up without their star player, well, without one of their star players. Also pleased by the crowd. 8,043 in attendance at this game. Galen Center holds a capacity of just over 10,000, so that's significant. That's significant right there, because this wasn't the Notre Dame game where all the celebrities were at. This is in USC versus UCLA, which is a sellout, has been a sellout for a couple years now. This was just a game on Sunday against a conference opponent, one of many who's ranked. They're not even one of the higher ranked teams in the conference. So this was huge to have an attendance like that. Matter of fact, Coach G spoke on it. I'll let that play a little bit, and then I'll catch you guys on the next video.
It's just not lost on me ever. I mean, to walk out there and see people on that upper row. Rayah and I were here when it was my family and hers, and that's it. And I think it speaks to the growth, right? Like LA, I was told so many times, people won't come out for women's basketball, but come out for winners. I mean, a lot of it has to do with Juju and her magnetism, and it also has to come with the way we play. Like, who wouldn't want to see Rayah at the front of a press, or the way that we play with one another? And so we're trying to put a good product on the floor that people want to come see. But shout out to the community for showing up on 7 o'clock on a Sunday during the holidays. It's a big name school in here. These are exciting matchups, but I think they show up for these women because they deserve it, and it's a cultural kind of thing that we're phenomenon that we're seeing happening, and I'm really grateful and proud to be part of it, but it's really about them.
Sorry. Yeah, we never take it for granted. Like Coach said, it just means the world to us. Just to see the trajectory of when I first committed here to now my second year, it means the world. And I think we're really building a culture and fan base here at SC that's going to last forever. So that's really all we could ask for, and we're super grateful for our fans because there's no place like home.